So we've had a question about real-time pattern and play recording, so I thought we'd do a quick video. It's basically a simple recording feature, basically a looper, so you can record your riffs using different sounds, and you can assign them to individual keys, so when you play a key you can just trigger your loop. It's great for live or just being creative with your recordings, getting your ideas down. So this is how it works. This is the Korg Krome. We've got the sequencer screen here. What I've done is I've set up a few sounds on each of these channels. So on the first one we've got an electric piano, we've got strings, we've got some more sounds set up, we've also got drums on channel 10 as well. So it's important to get the sounds correct first. Basically sounds come from choosing the tracks. So if you haven't got your sounds set up, you're going to find it a bit of a nightmare, so you're better off getting your sounds done first. To get to the RPPR recording, I press page button just under the dial on the Chrome, and select pattern and RPPR tab on the screen there. So this is the pattern screen. We've got three tabs: pattern edit, pattern name, and RPPR setup. The last tab there is for actually assigning the patterns we've recorded and setting them into the individual keys that we want to assign them to. We'll see that after. So first things first, we want to make sure that we're on the first pattern, which we are, which is pattern 0, and that we've got the sound coming from whichever MIDI track we've got selected here, and it shows us the sound here, which at the moment is the electric piano. So if I want to use a different sound, I can simply select a different track, and it shows me what sound I'm actually using here. So another important thing is to remember you've got to actually set the pattern length up first. So top right corner, pattern parameter, and we can set the length up here. So if I want 4 bars, I'll just select 4 bars by rotating the dial and press OK. And that's it, that's set now to record 4 bars. So all I have to do now is press the record button. When I press record, clock up here will sit at 0, 1. When I press play, that'll go to a minus number, and then it'll start recording. So if I press play now, anything I play is going to be recorded. So I stop playing now, and that is literally just looping around the 4 bars. I'll just stop that playing, and it's that simple. If I press play, there it is. If I want to change the tempo, I can do. I can move the tempo dial. So that's one pattern recorded. So let's say that's our bass riff, that's our pattern we want to use. I want to record another part now that I can play with, so I'm going to select a different pattern, number 1 this time. Okay, and first thing to do again is to set up the pattern length. Touch the top corner, pattern parameter, and I can set how long I want this pattern to be. 2 bars is fine for this, so I'll press OK. And this time I'm going to change track. I'm going to use track 1 with the electric piano. So that's it. Again, I just press the record button. I know I've got 2 bars and my counting up here. Press play and basically play our riff. That's it. As you can hear, it just keeps looping round. We can't hear the other pattern whilst we're recording a new one, but the idea is, of course, to get your own patterns down and mess with them afterwards. So let's do just a few more. So if I go to pattern number 2, and this time track 2, use the string pad. So I know that sounds right. Set the pattern length. 4, perfectly fine. Press OK. Press the record button and press play again. Hit stop, and we'll do one more. We'll just do some quick drums. So if I go to pattern 3, I can now select my drum track or drum sound, which is on channel 10. Okay, so pattern edit, pattern parameter to set up the pattern length. 2 bars, that'll do for now. We'll just do a quick example. Press record and press play again. Because it's a loop, we can build the drums up note by note. So I've just played the bass drum on its own. Now I can bring the snare in. So we'll add some hats. Stop it recording. Simple as that. Now what we want to do now, of course, is get our riffs assigned to individual keys. So we can do that in the RPPR setup tab. Select this tab. As we can see, we've got the keyboard laid out on here. We're on the Krome 88 at the moment, and it shows that these keys are greyed out, and that's because we can use them to actually stop the RPPR, the patterns, playing. So what I want to do now is assign my patterns to the keys. So the first pattern, pattern 0, we did the bass line. So I've got to make sure that the correct track is selected here for the sound and which key we're going to assign it to. So if I want it on C#2, that's great, and I've got user pattern 0, I just press assign. So now when I press that note on the keyboard, I get the riff. But I've got the wrong MIDI track, so I'm just going to change this. I'm going to change this to MIDI track 3, which is where my bass sound is, and that is shown here. Press the C#2 key, and there it is. Now when I let go, the actual pattern stops playing. We've got a choice there. We can tell it to carry on when we even let go of the note, and we can change the mode that it's operating in here. So it says manual. I can change it to once, which means it'll play to the end of that riff and finish, or endless, where it'll just keep looping round until I stop it. So in this circumstance, I'll set this to endless. What I want to do now is set up the next key with a different pattern. So I go to my key here, change that to D2. Now I'm going to assign pattern 1. Tick the box to assign it. So I can see now that's turned to blue. That's assigned to that key. And when I play it, whatever sound I've got assigned to that pattern will be triggered. So it was the electric piano riff that we did. So if I press, I've selected MIDI track 1 for the electric piano. If I press the D key, I get the riff. Again, I can change the mode on that to endless if I want that just to carry on. So basically now, on the first key, the C#2, and then the D key, I've got 2 patterns. If I play the key and then let go, it carries on because I've got endless mode set. To stop the pattern playing, we can simply hit the key again. So, let's set up a few more. Let's go to the next key. So that will be the D#2, and we want pattern 2. And here we did these strings, so we can assign the string track, which is there already on here. So press assign, and when I play the key, I can hear the strings. Again, what I'm going to do is set that to endless. So this gives us control. I can trigger it, trigger the riff, and when I want it to stop, I'll just simply press the key again for that particular pattern. And finally, I'm going to add the drums onto the next key. So go up one more key to the E, and we're going to go to pattern 3, assign that, and this time I want that on the drums. So I'm going to go to track 10 for the sound assignment here. Play the key. There we've got the drums. Again, what I want to do, I'm just going to change this to endless, so it keeps going once again, and that is as simple as that. That's the patterns now assigned to the individual keys. So if I want, I can build up my song, or build up the patterns as I play. Just to remind you as well, we can change the tempo. We've got the tempo up here in the corner, but we've also got the tempo dial to adjust speed. So just something else to make you aware of is if I exit back to the main screen, press exit button, and I play those keys, I'm just getting sounds. And that's because we've not turned the real-time pattern and play feature on in the sequencer. So if I turn it on here, and then I start playing my keys, if I play my first note, there's the bass riff, we can see the level of the part playing. So we can change the sounds of the actual riffs, we can also change the volumes, so we can mix it up now with our ideas. So if I press key D, so we can bring in some drums now on E, and if we want we can add the strings. And I can take out an individual pattern by tapping that key once again. So you can see it can be quite powerful for live use, or just messing around with your ideas and your chords that you've got. There we go, real-time pattern and play recording.